All right. Well, let's start rolling, guys. I am super excited to bring on Chad here. We've been talking for a few months now, right? And I'm very strategic on who we bring on to our mastermind call to make sure that they can add as much value to everybody as a whole, right? When you guys are talking about working with clients, there's no shortage of realtors, right? How are you adding more value than your competition to gain more business? You want to do more REOs. How are you adding more value to those asset managers than your competition? That is constantly the game for us as realtors. Same thing with lenders. They're a dime a dozen, just like we are. So this is where the cream always rises to the top. Chad has over 25 years of experience in the mortgage industry. He has built a reputation as a result of like his leadership and helping other people grow, right? And that is the big part. Like anybody will take your loans, right? Like some will even help pay for some leads or do this or do that. Like who is helping you grow your business at the end of the day? And I think with Texana Bank, there's a lot of different ways to leverage this for more business opportunities to for everybody to grow together, especially with what we have going on. So, Chad, good morning and welcome, sir. How are you doing today?
Good, good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So I know you've been in the business for quite some time now. Like, give everybody some recap. Like, what are some of the highlights, right? Like, I know you're a regional director with Texana Bank, right? Like, you have a beautiful setup now. But give us some of your highlights of some of the things that you've accomplished along your way.
Well, when you've been in the business this long, as I'm sure some of you guys are, you see the highs and lows throughout the industry, and they seem to be year-long gaps of whether or not things are rising and going down. So, I mean, I kind of lived all of it, but I mean, the biggest thing was just staying persistent and keep growing and leading and being involved with people that helped me get to the next level. So, that's ultimately what it is. And I would say in my late 20s, I started really working with a group of, you know, investors and realtors, and we put together a pretty nice group, and we just kept helping each other and growing. So that's kind of where we're at now with the stage, is that we work with partners. We don't look at a realtor works for me, or I work for a realtor, an investor works for me, or I work for them. It's true partnership, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's where we're at now. You guys talking about, AI and Sora and what it does for you. I am such a believer in that. If we're not in the forefront, then we're just going to be left behind, right? So, with where the market is nowadays for both sides, lending and real estate, you really have to be part of the forefront, and that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing. And we're very big on that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about different ways. One, Chad's group over there at Texana Bank has already passed out some deals to agents in this group already, right? So we've already been a referral source and stuff with leads that are coming into Texana Bank naturally. We will look to be a bigger part of that as we get more of you guys involved with it and stuff as well. But here's the thing, right? Like the reason I brought you on, right, is because you're working with some of the top producing realtors, real estate professionals in the country, right? Like, and so I wanted to talk about like, why the hell are people working with you? Like, what kind of value do you add to them that helps them increase production, do more business, stay in touch with their clients? And, I was like, look, we don't have time. We can come back and do another call for all of the things that you have, but let's just focus on like the top two or three things. Where do you want to start with that, Chad?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing is how we gained partnership with a lot of these big brokerages was we offer what's called our Green Loan program, and it's real estate agent, mortgage loan originator. So they're actually hired on as a banker, so they can be duly compensated on the real estate side and on the lending side. And we are a national bank, right? So you don't have to do the 20-hour class. You're federally licensed. You could do purchase, refinance loans, and be paid. So it kind of broke us into the door But a lot of outfits were trying to do that type of thing, but a lot of them you had to take the 20-hour course and things of that nature. And
And
then
let me just stop you there. How many of you guys have had people come to you and say, like, oh, you should get your NMLO license? Anybody? Right? Like it's like a monthly thing, like, oh, Larry, you should get your insurance license. You should get this, you should get that. I'm like, I don't have time for anything like that. Right. But and there's a few companies that are also like doing this, but this is one of the things that I brought. Like our group is so big and in so many different states, right? A lot of the other financial institutions that were essentially allowing you to participate in the revenue off of the loans, right? One either wanted you to have your NMLO license or they were regional, right? They were 2 states, they were 3 states, they were 5 straight states. And they were like, look, let me get onto your mastermind. I'm like, I can't because like we only apply to 15% of this group, right? So how many states are you guys in? Like, and this was something that I was like, oh my gosh, like if you had a Rockstar LO and you were making an extra half a point on every deal that closed, like this is what we talk about a lot in our group. And next week, we're going to have a title play and stuff as well, right? If we're already doing the business, right? How much more beneficial would it be to make $3 or $4 versus $1, right? Like that is what we're talking about this next 4 to 8 years. How do we compound everything that we're doing? How many states are you guys in over there, Chad?
we are throughout the whole country, every state.
Every state.
So,
And that
and
was
if you're employed by Texana Bank, you are licensed to do business throughout the whole country.
and this is where like that referral income and stuff could come in. So, you know, when I sat down with him, like one, I didn't have to go through the 20-hour courses and stuff like that. We had coverage anywhere. And then Chad has a dedicated team just for our group to be able to do this with. But here's the thing, and I told him, right, like this isn't just, oh yeah, I want to do that, right? Like this is where we have to build some relationships and stuff like that and make sure that it's a good fit. And so one, there's an opportunity to leverage the lending side, which is why he's working with so many top producers because they have a lot of leads coming in. They're doing this. You guys are also doing some things with lead generation and lead follow-up and stuff as well. Is that right, Chad?
Yes, yes. So, obviously being able to be compensated from your guys' end is a win, right? Not having to take a course and the test, which I got to tell you, I've been doing this nearly 30 years. I had to take the NMLS test twice. I got a 96 and a 94. Both times I thought, man, I might have failed this thing. I mean, it's a real pain, and that's someone that knows the ins and outs, right? So for a realtor to do it, it's very tough. So obviously that's a win, but I think truly, besides even the compensation and even being able to provide leads and stay on top of things, it's all the other tools, right? And I mean, I'll give you an example of MBS Highway. I don't know if many of you have heard of Barry Abebe. He talks to the industry all the time. I mean, he's the go-to guy. They have several different tools, and obviously you could go and join a membership there and pay $300. The biggest thing, and I'll tell you, I had a realtor a couple of years ago that was doing 4 or 5 deals a year. But he was actually working. He wasn't a stay-at-home mom or part-time gig for a father. He was actually working it. And I felt bad saying it, but finally I did because I've seen him at so many events. I said, I think you're doing it the wrong way, right? He was doing the typical go to the meetings, the BAIs, and all that type of stuff, which is great, but that's all he was doing. He wasn't getting out there. So MBS Highway has what's called list report, right? So this is something that we give to all of our employees. And essentially what happens is that you provide them with your closed deals. It sends out marketing for you, everything about that house to the borrowers, the appreciation, how much money they've saved, the market trends, and then it actually rates them to see when they would be looking to move and things of that nature. So I got him onto that, and immediately he started getting wins. At a realtor 3 months ago, we put on there, they've already picked up 5 transactions for purchases, right? And then they got compensated because they are on board with us. They got compensated on 3 deals for refinances. And they never would have thought, he was honest. He goes, I never would have thought to even reach out to those people. Right. But it makes you look good as a realtor. It separates you because those emails are going out. Right. And then
And
the other thing,
they're branded on you. So I want to make sure that you guys all understand this, because look, the compensation is one thing, but if we don't have deals coming in, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's the same as revenue share, profit share, or anything. Like, it's irrelevant, right? If we don't have deals coming in. This was one of the things that I wanted to highlight, is that Chad's team literally will take your database, will create branding with you so that like you are the focal point, right? And add up, like, how many times have we talked about on this call, like every person that buys or sells a home from you should be added into your database, should be getting a monthly or quarterly market update that says, hey, Michael, I know that you had no desire to sell your home, but some people love to see if their home appreciated or depreciated. And so that way it's constantly staying in front of them. And then when Michael opens up the email 7 times, like, all of a sudden I call him because my CRM is telling me this. And Michael's like, I was just thinking about you. And I'm like, holy shit, you were thinking of me and I called, right? Like, that is when we do the right things every single day. We get lucky. And even though we've had that specific conversation, that text, talk about it probably 5 to 6 times a year, how many of you guys all have that set up? As many times as we've talked about that, I don't see one person doing this because life gets busy and life gets in the way. This is where I'm talking about partnerships. Like, if you're not going to do it, have the right partner that will. Because Chad knows that, look, if we know when they got in and this and that, we can estimate what their rates are, right? Like, the system will do all of that. And now, if we knew that they bought last year and they have a 6.5% interest rate, and as this market continues to shift and turn, it keeps going down, and now it's at a 3.5%. Now that program can start detailing like, hey, do you know if you were able to refinance, it could take your monthly payment from $4,200 a month to $3,500 a month, right? Like, that is the beauty of a system, but we have to use it. Does that make sense? Like, again, we have had that conversation on this mastermind probably 50 times, like since 2020. I'm guessing 10 times a year we have that conversation. We all know what to do, but we're not doing it. Like, and that's where I was like, hold on, Chad. So you're telling me we could take our database, and what kind of format do you need this in, Chad? Like, if these guys want to start working with you and take advantage of the, what was it called, MBS Highway? And do you have, like, you can share your screen.
It's the home report, but literally, name, address, if you have the purchase date, the purchase amount, email, and then everything else we could get. Right.
Do you have are you able to share your screen right now to like show like what a report that goes out to a client and stuff would look like? And here's the thing, I don't really even care what it looks like. The fact that it's coming from you over and over and over again, right? And it's keeping you in front. Now you combine that with making sure that you're connected with them on social media. And now you call occasionally, and now you do this, and that's how you create raving fans. That's how you create clients for life. We've all seen the stat that 80% of people say they would do business with the agent again, but less than 15% do. Why? Because we're terrible at our job. We're terrible at follow-up. Zillow does a better job at marketing to our clients and stuff like that, right? Like, we're not good at those parts. So this is where we have to have those systems and stuff in place.
So I'll give you a breakdown, and hopefully you guys can see my screen now, right?
Not yet. No.
Oh,
if you click on the bottom, no, there it goes. It's starting now. Beautiful.
So you can see here are the things with the client's home report that they get, right? So appreciation forecast, equity, maintenance, financial tips, and this is all branded with you. Okay. And then the home estimated home evaluation appreciation. This goes out. This is a prime example of what goes out. It shows where they're at, and they can confirm their loan details. And as they're doing this, you're getting notified, right? So
Mhm.
what's amazing with uh, this system is the opt-out rate is like next to none, right? Because it's very subtle. It's not beating people up. Okay.
Yeah, you're not asking them, do you want to buy or sell a home today? Right. But when you have everybody in this, right? Like Jared, you sold 40 something homes last year and you were on the listing side of most of those. What if you took that buyer's information that bought all of your homes and put that into a database?
Oh, well, yeah,
And now
he's missing out. He's missing out if he doesn't have something like this already, right?
Jared's missing out on so much more, but that's a whole separate mastermind conversation in itself. But this is where I'm saying, right? Like you weren't even the buyer's agent, but this is where you could be their future listing agent because I guarantee you that other agent isn't following up. Is it like maybe 5 to 10%, 15% max? The numbers tell me that 15% max will use that same agent. Add more value to where it is a disservice that people don't do more business with you.
It's crazy with the when you actually look at the numbers, and I'm glad you brought it up because we've really done well with our partners, right? Because of the fact that they are getting those deals, but most people are not, and it's shocking to me because coming off the last couple of years where business has been slower, I don't know how you have not stayed on top of your clients better, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's why we really started going heavy on providing for our partners that work with us. Right. So, I mean, as you can see, here's another thing. The market's always changing. How ready are you to act? Literally, they click a button what they're interested in, and then it scores them. Everything is scored, everything is sent to you so that you know, hey, what are they looking to do?
Mhm.
Right. You send out
Yeah.
the home tips. You got your equity widget. It tells them what, how much equity they have, right? So if they're looking for a HELOC, I
And
mean,
so they're not sending over that information. So it's pulling from your guys' national database of when they bought and stuff. So they
AI is
maybe
a great
might,
thing.
yeah. So maybe there could there be like a second or something that we don't see on this report, or does it pull all of that information?
They would pull that. If they had a home equity line, if they had a second mortgage, if they were a down payment assistance loan, it considers and takes all that into the situation.
Question,
So
guys. How many of you guys would it be beneficial if you knew how much equity was in your clients' homes? Put in the chat box there, like just like show me that you're breathing, please. And if not, like you guys are lying at this point in time, right? Like this is what I wanted him to highlight. If and now, like, so if we can do this and you guys can be compensated on a refinance side of things, their next purchase or this or that, like that's where it starts to compound, all by having the right partners. Not somebody that's like, oh, I'm gonna make a flyer for you. I'm gonna like, no shit, right? Like, look, like I will make a flyer for any of you guys. Like, what else? Like, how do we do more? How do we do more business is the key aspect of all of this right now.
yeah, and I gotta be honest, the biggest thing is that we do every type of loan that you could imagine. I mean, we do FHA, VA, conventional. We do the down payment assistance, the USDAs, but we do all the DSCR loans. Okay, we do the I-10 loans. We do commercial loans. We do every type of loan you can imagine, and we do them great. When we do a DSCR loan, it's not like my, close friend of mine owns cross country, and they do DSCR loans, right? And it is funny because their guidelines are like, hey, you got to be an A student to do a DSCR loan with them. Where us, it's standard guidelines, right? So
Mm.
our rates are phenomenal, our systems are phenomenal, which to me is our biggest strength is that we could close way more loans than anybody else. And talking about partnership, I mean, about 6 months ago, we had an investor because they were working with someone else to purchase a house, I believe, in Chicago. As an investment property, couldn't get approved. Someone referred him over to me actually, and I got him and I hooked him up with one of the guys here. And he wanted to buy, and he's from, I think it was Hong Kong or Australia. Um, he wanted to buy throughout the states, Florida, South Carolina, things of that nature. Right now, that gentleman, I think's done about 50 transactions with us, and he's tied to 3 different realtors that we hooked him up with that help him handle these transactions, right?
Mhm.
And I can't tell you how many of those we have. I mean, I remember when we had a handful, I was like, wow. Then all of a sudden it got to 2 handfuls. I'm like, this is really something. How are we doing this? Right. And then now, I mean, there's got to be close to 100 of those that are actually out of the country that are really buying those. And we've hooked them up with close to 30, I think it's like 33 realtors handle those clients that we've handed off that they have done, I don't know, 5, 10 units a year with that person already.
Yeah.
Right. So
I see Katie,
it is.
who's in North, I see Katie, it says, they have a tool called Remind that does something similar, but it's hard to use. This is where I'm telling you, if you have the right partners, they will set this up and do this for you, right? Like give them download your database into a CSV file, have a virtual assistant, put it into a CSV file. I don't care. Get them the information, like start working these deals together at the end of the day, right? It also opens up, like I said, like a lot of other referral opportunities. Like I want to be Texana's Bank hugest referral source, right? Because we're their best partner, they're our best partner, right? One of the other things, again, we're going to talk about a title play. We're talking about that with Texana Bank and stuff as well, which will be next week. I have Michael Longhaker. He was the previous director of HUD, right? Who now has a vested interest in the title company with Cross Country Mortgage with this, right? Like we're starting to pair all of these things together and looking for the future market here. Now, this is a silly question, and I know the answer to most of this, but I'm going to be facetious. How many of you guys like the REO and default space? Show of hands, chat box. How many of you guys want more REO listings and stuff as well? Like this is what I'm talking with Chad about, because they sell off a portion, they keep a portion. And so now we're like, well, what happens with your default loans? Because we have the largest network, right, of REO specific agents across the country. So how do you build relationships with a new client? Well, figure out what the key to Chad's heart is. They just want to do more business with you, right? Like, so this is where, look, you can't just pick this and this, right? Like, this is where it has to be a partnership at the end of the day if you want to get access to these tools or resources. And if you don't, that's fine. But I would go lean into your current partner and say, look, this guy just said that he would come and do this for me. Can you do this for me? And if not, maybe it's time to reevaluate some relationships and stuff like that. And it doesn't have to be everything, right? But just think of how much extra business you guys could do by having your database constantly followed up with on a consistent basis, branded by you. What kind of opportunities does that present at the end of the day?
Like I said, it is all about partnership. I mean, that's what we're looking for. We have thousands of realtors that send us every deal that they have, right? When they get a deal, they send it over. And I'm just being 100% candid. I know those realtors I can't send leads to, right? Because they just don't work them, right? So what we do, and we have plenty of realtors that do come on or approach us and want to be part of the program, and they just don't have the production as of yet. And it's a partnership. Hey, get some deals going. You can see what we're about. We see what you're about. And then from there, then you come on board. And that happens with probably about 30% of people, right?
Yeah.
But we give so many tools up front to help you out. And even you don't have to become a Remlo and an employee with us for me to put your stuff in here and you to start seeing the benefits of it, right? And at the same time, let's say theoretically, Katie is a remo with us, so she gets paid on the transaction. That does not mean that Katie has to do all her deals through Texana Bank. It's not the way it is, right? If the borrower came to them and was already pre-approved and they want to use their lender, last thing I would want Katie to do, and sorry for using you as an example, but last thing I would want Katie to do is be like, oh no, I work at a bank, I want you to go through me, right? That's not going to happen. And I have some guys that would look at, hey, this realtor's a remo with us and they did 82 transactions and we did 50. Man, that's awesome. And they were like, well, why don't we do all of them? Well, that's not going to happen. It is a partnership. All right, we give and take. So that's what it comes down to, is how can I help you guys grow and get better? How could you guys help me grow and get better? Technology is so much at the forefront. It is crazy. Realtors that are going to be successful here in the future, along with bankers in this industry that are going to be successful in the future, have to be top of mind. And being top of mind in 2025 is a heck of a lot different than 2020 or further back, right? It handled all different ways. So Sora doing the videos, if you're not the person that wants to put yourself out there on social media, you use things like that, you're top of mind. Following up on emails, text at the right time of day, and how all that's handled. We can't sit there and even figure that stuff out. As smart as I am, I don't know exactly when to send it, but using all of the technology that we have now to be able to send the email to Larry at the right time of day that we know that's the best chance that he's actually going to look at it. Those are the things that we have to do. So we're dedicated partners. We work together, and that's how it goes. So this people putting stuff, a lot of realtors have stopped spending money because of the lack of business over the last couple of years on CRMs and the assistant to send out letters and birthday cards and all that type of stuff. Some realtors tried to do it themselves and then gave up on it. We have all the systems for that, right? So that just keeps you forefront, on top of the fact that we do every type of loan. I mean, I can't tell you, I have people closing commercial deals now, realtors that never dabbled in any type of commercial, because of the fact that their lender didn't do it. They didn't know how to do it. Next thing you know, people are going to them on, I'm talking crazy deals, but we do that type of stuff. And you do not have to be a professional at it, but you got to work with the professional. And it's the same way with, I'll send you a deal. I'm not going to send you a slew of deals until I know how you're going to handle them. All right. It's like we're a country where we don't just get set up with our wife and marry her. We do a little bit and see how it goes, and then we grow from there. So it's partnership.
And same thing. I know a lot of you guys are, partnered with Jay Kinder on the Funnel Pilot program and stuff like that, right? Like, this is something where I was like, look, we do a $10 a day ad spend. He's like, look, I'd be all over at that with the right partner, right? It's not just like we need to see some proof in the concept that you can close some deals, that you're going to send some deals, that it is going to be that everybody is bringing something to the table. But these are all ways that, Chad and Texana Bank are looking to really lean into this and help you guys do more. So I thought it was a huge opportunity. It was something pretty easy that, Ariana and I needed and stuff just here, to begin with. And so I already see like some people asking for a commercial lender and stuff like that. How do people get in touch with you, Chad? Like if they need to, how do they get in touch with like our group and stuff that we put together, that's dedicated for our team and stuff there? What's the next process?
Well, I would say we can either, if you have everyone's email, we could email it out. I'd like to get out just not only my information, but also, your team, right? So that way you guys can always get a hold of one of us. Larry knows because, he had a realtor that sent over a deal from South Carolina. And what we do is we work as a team that is dedicated to your team, so that you can always get a hold of us. I don't care if it's Saturday at 3 or if it's Sunday at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. It's kind of how we go so that you never get skipped and someone doesn't get handled. Right.
So why don't we do this, guys, and give me till next week for Kathy and I to kind of put all of this stuff together. If you have interest in your database being followed up with, put your like partnering on that, put your email in the chat. If you have an interest in, participating in working leads, and stuff on that side of things, put your name in the chat. If you have interest in being compensated on the loans for refinance and stuff like that without getting your NMLO license, like put it in the chat, and then we'll compile this. I'll get all of this stuff over to Chad, and then we will do some follow-up and stuff next week. You can stop sharing your screen and stuff over there, Chad, unless there's something else that you want to show. But this was just something that was easy, right? Like we all have people, like Chad doesn't need to be your only lender. But here's the other one. Oh, and I forgot to, like, if you would like to receive referrals and stuff from Chad, who's already sent people out, help kind of align to be the first in their default network and stuff as this continues to, like, these are where we start to build relationships and stuff for the future before they have a default department, right? Like this is where we're positioning and stuff for the future here. And so it's, again, I thought it was easy. Like it doesn't take a lot of work, right? Like you guys are never going to be behind the scenes talking to the underwriter, trying to do this out, right? Like, or anything, because that was the other part. I wasn't getting my NMLO license and like, I wasn't touching the file, right? Like I don't need to know how to do loans, but if we can increase production, right? If we can build multiple streams of income and have somebody that's helping build our business, this is what I want to add value to you. And again, like Chad, you should be on here next week. I know that we haven't connected with Michael Longacre yet, who was the previous director of HUD, but this is where we want to get Texana Bank involved with that, right? And now we're all doing more business together on the production side, on the mortgage side, on the title side, without me having to learn all of those different positions, right? Without you having to learn all of those different positions and stuff there. I think it's kind of a no-brainer, which is what I wanted to share. But we do have about 10 minutes left. We'll dig in more to the tools and resources. I'll probably have Chad coming back on like once a quarter or so. I see a lot of emails. We will capture all of those and put those together. Kathy, if you could just put a note on that to make sure that we compile a list and stuff there and get that over to me. Questions, comments, concerns for Chad while we have a few minutes left.
I have a question, Chad. So basically, you plug and play our information into your system that pretty much goes out at will to all of our clients, right? If I'm reading it correctly, because it gets branded by us and yourself, right?
Well, the list reports for the home thing, we actually, unless you were an employee, we don't always automatically brand us, right? I'm not doing it to brand me to your clients. I'm doing it to partner with you to get business, right?
Awesome.
But that's why we don't just work with every group. I mean, I have some pretty big groups that have came to me before and have wanted to do this. And I've said no because I don't believe in their leadership. It doesn't fit our style, right? We do very good. I mean, we have thousands of employees across the country. We do a lot of loans. So we're not begging anyone. But so no, like with the home report, it might be, it would be up to you on whether or not we're listed with you or just you're listed actually, right? And then with some of the other things, we offer whole kinds of things, whether or not you are an employer or not. Like even calling your database. I have guys that will call to see if they can't get you a listing. And then even if they get a refinance out of it, right? We handle it the right way so it doesn't tarnish your relationship. Does that make sense? So we'll stay on the forefront for it because of the fact that the first thing that I want to do is make sure that we're working with you to get you more deals. And then you're going to in turn get us more deals. So it comes
I think that's awesome because when it comes to crossing states and reaching across the land, if I'm correct, that means that I'm here in Houston. If I close a deal in Louisiana or close a deal in New York or California, wherever that client is, that tool that you have is going to reach across the aisle to wherever they are. I think
Yeah.
that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah. You know, the thing is with realtors is they never realize. I mean, I had a realtor call me and be like, I went to school. Actually, one went to school in Texas. They live up here in Ohio, and I'm at the club with them, and next thing you know, it's like, man, I get all these deals in Texas. I can't even do them, and I'm like, do the loans. What? I'm like, yeah, you could do loans throughout the whole country. So do the loan for the person, and now you're making some money, right? And I go, a matter of fact, I now have realtors that have done loans for people in other states that hook those people up with realtors in our sphere. So now those realtors are going to the realtors to send to do mortgages, right? Because they're not an employee of ours. Do you see what I'm saying? So it is all about truly setting ourselves up with good partners. And it's like talking with Larry. That was one of the strengths. I looked into the group, I looked into what he was doing, and it's like, okay, yes, I mean, this is something once we build that relationship with, we're going to continue to grow in all aspects of it, right? Whether or not you're just a realtor, doing houses, or you're a commercial, or doing the SEOs, having investors, we truly work together.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty easy question. I have a question. So a lot of our folks work with investors. You talked about people buying multiple homes, right? Like if I have somebody that owns 5 homes, do they get 5 different, like, can we set it up to where there's 5 different reports for each of their house? Is it only
No,
tied to a primary house? Like, what's that look like?
it would be every single house. It's every single house. Now, here's the thing. I have a whole department that specializes in this, and you guys have a couple people on your team that is going to be dedicated to you that handles these type of things. A lot of investors, they have the 5, 6 houses. It amazes me how they were under the impression that they could only have 5 financed houses, and they have these houses that are free and clear with all this equity into it, and they want to buy more, but they feel they got to pay cash for it, or they have to do this and this to qualify. With our investor programs, you don't need all that. So a lot of times what happens is you run into here, Barry, it's got an investor that comes and wants to look at an investment property, and we start speaking with them, and hey, they have 10 investment properties already. Why don't you pull some cash out of 1 or 2 of these, so now you could buy 4 or 5 investment properties? And then the boomers are like, oh, I could do that. Well, here all of a sudden Barry's getting paid on 5 transactions, and then he's helping them find 3 more investment properties because they thought they were going to buy 1, and now all of a sudden Barry's getting more listings, and you're getting paid more on transactions because we cashed out these deals, right? So I always say, help me become better at what we are doing, and allow me to help you get better at what you are doing. And if we all work together and all stay in front of this AI and all this technology, that's what's going to separate us, right? So I wish I was as smart. I wish I was as smart as I am now 20 years ago, but I wish I had the energy from 20 years ago now, right? I don't. So now I'm smart. So now what I need to do is partner with multiple people, because I could only get so much done in the 18 hours a day that I work. You see what I mean?
Jared, did you hear that? There's only so much shit you can do by yourself in one day. I just wanted to make sure that you picked up on that one point. That's all. I love you, brother. Like, I will take you just crushing it, doing 100 deals a year on your own, but I do want to make your life easier too. Beautiful. Any other questions and stuff, so I can stop being a smart ass over here? All right. Well, guys, if you're watching this recording on YouTube and this interests you, shoot me an email. Right, I will make sure that you get connected to Texana Bank and stuff like that. But to me, guys, this is a no-brainer. Like, again, nobody raised their hand on constantly following up with their clients that have bought their homes. Like, if there's one thing that you're going to take away from this, like if you're not doing anything with it, like you have zero risk. What happens if you send this over to Chad and his team and they produce an extra deal a year, 2 deals a year, 5 deals a year? Like, depends how big your database is at this point in time. Like, that's the worst case scenario. Now, imagine if you build a relationship, he starts helping with lead generation, right? He starts passing out leads from his referral network. We start getting into the default side of things as the market continues to shift. Like, again, everything that we're doing with the REO Alliance and stuff is strategic for the next 4 to 8 years. We need business today. That's where the right partners and stuff like Chad come into play. So I love you guys. I thank you guys. Chad, thank you so much, brother. And I am
Thank you.
looking forward to this and what we'll continue to build out here, man.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Have a great day, guys. I'll get you over that list after we compile it and stuff there, Chad. Give me till like Monday or so. And then why don't you come up with like an email like template that we want to send out to everybody, and you and I will proof that in the meantime.
All right, sounds good. My number's in there if anyone has any questions in the meantime.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.